Your brain is sabotaging your financial decisions right now, and you don't even notice it. Every time you think about money, a specific area of the brain activates and launches a program that literally blocks your ability to see opportunities. This is not a metaphor. It's a biological process documented in hundreds of scientific experiments. Watch until the end, and you'll learn how to disable this program forever. In 2013, Princeton economist Sendil Mullainathan and Harvard psychologist Eldar Shafir published the results of a large-scale study that revolutionized the understanding of poverty. They found that lack of money affects the brain in exactly the same way as lack of sleep. It reduces IQ by 13 to 14 points. This is equivalent to a person not sleeping all night before an important exam. But the difference is that insomnia is temporary, while financial scarcity can last for years, gradually rewiring neural networks. Here's how it works at the brain level. When you constantly think about scarcity, whether of money, time, or other resources, your prefrontal cortex becomes overloaded. This is the part of the brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and impulse control. The prefrontal cortex expends enormous energy on constant worry about how to pay bills, whether there's enough money until the end of the month, or whether you can afford a particular purchase. As a result, there are simply no resources left for strategic thinking, searching for new opportunities, or long-term planning. Researchers called this phenomenon scarcity syndrome, or scarcity mindset. The key finding was that poverty is not just the absence of money, it is a specific brain state that self-perpetuates. The brain in scarcity mode focuses only on short-term threats and ignores long-term opportunities. This explains why people with low incomes often make decisions that seem illogical from the outside, taking high-interest loans, buying cheap things that break quickly, refusing to invest in education. But the most important discovery is this: these brain changes are reversible. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create new neural connections, works both ways. If the brain can be programmed for poverty, it can also be reprogrammed for abundance. Modern neuroscience research shows that regular mindfulness practice and re-evaluation of financial beliefs significantly alter activity in the amygdala, the brain structure responsible for fear and anxiety. In participants of experiments who regularly performed specific exercises, impulsive reactions to financial stress decreased, and activity increased in areas associated with long-term planning. Let's move on to practice. The first step to reprogramming is awareness that this scarcity program exists in your brain. Neurobiologists have identified 3 main thinking patterns that sustain scarcity syndrome. The first pattern is tunnel thinking. When the brain perceives scarcity, it narrows attention focus only to what is lacking right now. This is an evolutionary survival mechanism. When an ancient human was hungry, their brain focused exclusively on finding food, ignoring everything else. In the modern world, this mechanism forces you to concentrate only on current bills and debts, blocking the ability to see opportunities to increase income. The second pattern is borrowing from the future. The brain in scarcity mode constantly postpones important decisions, creating the illusion that there will be more resources in the future. This manifests in delaying investments in education, health, or building an emergency fund. Neuroimaging shows that with this thinking, activity in the prefrontal cortex decreases and impulsive behavior intensifies. The third pattern is value now versus value later. Numerous studies show that the brain in a state of scarcity reacts much more strongly to immediate rewards than to delayed ones. This means a person with a scarcity mindset will prefer to get $100 today instead of $200 in a month, even if it's economically irrational. How exactly to rewire these patterns? There are 4 scientifically validated methods that have proven effective in controlled studies. Method 1. Cognitive reconstruction of financial beliefs. Research shows that written practice of reframing money beliefs activates neuroplasticity. Every day for 15 minutes, write down your automatic thoughts about money. Then deliberately reframe them with a focus on abundance rather than scarcity. After a few weeks, Most study participants improve their financial behavior indicators. They start saving money, seeking additional income sources, and spending less on impulse purchases. Take a notebook and divide the page into 2 columns. On the left, write down a scarcity thought as soon as it appears. I don't have enough money. I can't afford this. Rich people are just lucky. On the right, immediately rewrite it in an abundance format. I find ways to increase my income. I invest in what will create value in the future. Wealth is the result of consistent actions and decisions. Important. This is not positive thinking. It's targeted training of neural pathways. Method 2. Expanding the time horizon. Neurobiologists have found that the brain processes the future and the present in different areas. When a person thinks about their future self, the same brain area activates as when thinking about strangers. This means your future self is perceived by the brain as a stranger, making it hard to make decisions in their favor. The practice that changes this is called future self-visualization. Every day, set aside 10 minutes for detailed visualization of yourself 5 years from now. But don't just dream. Visualize specific actions you are taking in that future. See yourself making financial decisions, working on projects, managing investments. Studies show that this practice increases activity in the medial prefrontal cortex, the area that connects the present to the future. After several weeks, experiment participants begin saving more money and making more long-term financial decisions. Method 3. Unloading cognitive resources. Remember that scarcity syndrome overloads the prefrontal cortex with constant worry. The solution is to free up mental space through automation of financial decisions. Behavioral economics research shows that people who automated their savings and bill payments experience less financial stress and more often find new income sources. Set up a system of automatic transfers. Every time income arrives, automatically transfer a fixed percentage to a separate account, at least 10%. But you can start with even 5%. It's not about the amount. It's about creating a neural pattern of money goes to the future first, then the present. Second step, automate payment of all regular bills. This frees up mental time that the brain spent on worry and planning. Method 4. Exposure therapy to abundance. This is the most neurobiologically precise method. Research has found that regular observation of behavior from people with an abundance mindset activates mirror neurons and gradually rewires your own financial patterns. Important. This is not about envy or comparison. It's about neural learning. Find 3 sources of content from people who demonstrate abundance thinking: podcasts, interviews, documentaries about entrepreneurs and investors. Critically important, choose those who talk about specific strategies and decisions, not motivation. Dedicate 20 minutes daily to this. Neuroimaging shows that after a month of such practice, activity in brain areas associated with abundance thinking significantly increases. The key point often overlooked: reprogramming takes time. Neuroplasticity is not an instant process. Studies show that forming stable neural connections takes from 2 to 8 months of consistent practice, depending on the complexity of the new habit. This means you'll see the first results in 2 to 3 months, and lasting changes in 6 to 8 months. Another important aspect: physiological support for neuroplasticity. Neurobiologists' research unequivocally shows that the speed of forming new neural connections depends on 3 factors: sleep quality, regular physical activity, and brain nutrition. Lack of sleep reduces neuroplasticity, while regular aerobic exercise increases production of BDNF, a protein that stimulates the growth of new neurons. What's important to understand: scarcity syndrome is not a moral flaw or lack of willpower. It is a biological brain reaction to scarcity stress. When you start working with these methods, you are not fighting yourself. You are recalibrating neurobiological systems shaped by experience. Watch until the end, because now comes the most important part. Long-term studies show impressive results in people who applied these 4 methods for a year. Most participants increased their income, built a financial reserve, and reported reduced financial stress. But most importantly, neuroimaging shows real changes in brain structure. Participants increased gray matter density in the prefrontal cortex and decreased amygdala reactivity to financial triggers. Your brain is not locked into the scarcity program forever. Neuroplasticity works every second, regardless of your age or past experience. Every financial decision you make either strengthens old scarcity neural pathways or creates new abundance pathways. Start with one method today: cognitive reconstruction, savings automation, future visualization. In 3 months, you'll notice your reaction to money has changed. In 6 months, your financial decisions will be different. In a year, your brain will operate on the frequency of abundance, not scarcity. This is not a promise of quick wealth. It's a scientifically proven path to reprogramming the neurobiological systems that control your financial behavior.